You remember when Judas committed suicide and they needed a replacement for Judas, they cast lots, and lots fell on this man by the name of Matthias. But that was man's doing. God's choice was the Apostle Paul. And we see the grace of God and the power of God beginning to work in his life in an incredible way. And so now, as Paul is writing to the church at Rome, he begins to talk about this struggle, this particular internal war, the internal wars of what we call civil wars, where there's something warring in your own members. And all of us, every human being experiences this kind of war. So notice, beginning with verse 14, Romans chapter 7 and verse 14, notice these words. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. Now this is the apostle. This is not just a bench member. This is the apostle who's writing the epistle to the church, and he's saying, we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For what I am doing, I do not understand. You ever done something you don't even understand it? Have you ever done something habitually and you don't understand why you keep doing it? You don't even understand it, how you find yourself in this position all over again when you said you'd never come back here? I just want you to see here how real the Apostle Paul is with us. I appreciate his transparency because it brings a relevancy into human nature that has not changed in thousands of years. In fact, this is the same Adamic nature that was in Adam, who was in the Garden of Eden. The same nature. Adam dealt with the same battle between the head and the heart. The head and the heart. He had the same 18-inch war. It's a short distance, but it can seem like 1,000,000 miles when you have not integrated the two into a system of belief that will guard and govern your life. So we know that the law is spiritual, but he says, I am carnal, sold under sin. For what I am doing, I do not understand. For what I will to do, that I do not practice, but what I hate, that's what I do. Now, if then I do what I will not to do, I agree that the law, that it is good, with the law, that it is good. But now it is no longer I who do it, but sin that dwells in me, in the carnal nature of the mind, which has not been born again. Your spirit is born again, but your mind is not born again. And so notice verse 17, but now it is no longer I who do it, but sin that dwells in me. For I know that in me, that is, in my flesh, nothing good dwells. For to will is present with me, but how to perform what is good I do not find. For the good that I will to do, I do not do, but the evil that I will not to do, that I practice. That's what I end up doing. Now, if I do what I will not to do, it is no longer I who do it, but sin that dwells in me. I find then a law, that evil is present with me, the one who wills to do good. For I delight in the law of God according to the inward man. But I see another law in my members warring against the law of my mind. Warring, here's that war going on again. The 18-inch war. The heart, the spirit, and the mind are at war one with another, and bringing me, notice, into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who will deliver me from this body of death? I thank God through Jesus Christ our Lord. So then with the mind I serve the law of God, but with the flesh the law of sin.